Present.
Present.
Present. We have a quorum. Next, please stand and let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Next, we have our May 21st meeting agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved in second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, our meeting agenda is adopted. Next, we have a recognition of our OSBA Business Honor Roll recognition. Tonight, we'll recognize our businesses that were nominated that support Marysville schools. I'll recognize Dr. Howard.
Thank you, President Ferguson. So, Board, as you know, the Ohio School Board Association provides a great platform for us to nominate community businesses that have demonstrated exceptional partnership with our school system. We're immensely proud to recognize 3 such organizations this evening. Our first honoree is Memorial Health. With a long-standing tradition of support, Memorial Health has been instrumental in creating diverse opportunities for our students. Most notably, they have provided expert athletic trainers who are deeply valued by our student athletes. These professionals offer vital care when injuries occur, provide the motivation and rehabilitation necessary to return students safely to competition. Furthermore, Memorial Health's generous donation and partnership with our boosters enabled the installation of turf on our varsity baseball and softball fields. This enhancement allowed us to host several Ohio High School Athletic Association tournament games this year, meeting the high standards for playability and consistency. We are deeply grateful to Memorial Health for their multifaceted support and steadfast partnership. And here with us this evening is Melanie Ziegler, who's the Vice President of Community Engagement. We also wish to honor Impact 60, another enduring partner of the Marysville Exempted Village School District. Their contributions are vast, yet their commitment to addressing the primary needs of our students is particularly profound. Impact 60 understands that academic success begins with basic security. Students must be fed and sheltered before they can focus on learning. By routinely contributing to our building's food banks and assisting with the Blessings in a Backpack program, they directly combat food insecurity. In times of crisis, they have also stepped in to assist families with housing needs. These essential services serve as a literal lifeline for many of our students. Additionally, Impact 60 has supported our facility updates and vocational pathways, including the Auto Tech partnership with Honda Marysville and High Point. On behalf of our entire school community, we offer our sincere thanks for your invaluable support. Here, on behalf of Impact 60, we have Chelsea Hatton and Lavana C. Finally, Buckeye Family Pizzeria exemplifies a business that has woven community support into its daily operations. During my introduction to this community, I was struck by their heartfelt initiative to assist families with pay-to-participate fees. This partnership has benefited countless families, ensuring that students can remain engaged in extracurricular activities. Their community-oriented spirit makes our district stronger, and we're fortunate to have them as partners. On behalf of Buckeye Family Pizzeria, we have Olivia Ross and Joey Cowan. Exceptional school districts share a common thread. They're driven by the needs of the community they serve. These businesses represent the remarkable outcomes possible when we work together. Thank you all for your time, energy, and resources you so generously provide to our students and schools.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Next, we have our PTO events and recognition. I'll turn it back to you.
Our Board of Education is pleased to recognize our PTO leaders this evening. As we do so, we have prepared a slideshow of some of the incredible events that have taken place in our elementary and intermediate buildings to loop in the background. You'll see lots of smiles in these photos, and I'm not sure whose smile you'll see in the most, the kids or the staff. Certainly our PTOs help to make our school staff feel appreciated and supported, but they also create wonderful memories for kids with dances, color runs, holiday jubilees, pumpkin drops with the fire department, and so much more. On behalf of our entire Board of Education, we can't thank you enough for helping to put the fun in education and the support you show to help ensure our school cultures in the buildings feels like a tight-knit family. One thing that I love is that when we reached out to our PTO presidents to invite them this evening to be recognized, many indicated they wanted to share the recognition with their entire leadership team because it was a collaborative effort. We couldn't love that more. So with that said, when you are recognized, please invite your team to be included in the picture with you. And certainly, if you'd like to use the microphone at the podium to introduce your team to the rest of us, by all means, please feel free to do so. First up this evening is Edgewood PTO President Ryan Rye Cunningham.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me, Dr. Howard. I'm also here with part of my board. Bobby Martinez is our treasurer, and Cassie Waddell is our vice president. Anita Ferguson had other plans this evening. So that's our group. You'll see our pictures up here. I'm not going to talk about every single thing we did. I think a lot of us do similar things, but just wanted to call out a few things that we're really proud of this year. One of the things we worked really hard to do across the board was to make things simpler for not only ourselves and our staff, but our volunteers and our parents. So we worked to kind of work smarter, not harder, for a lot of our events, and build up our volunteer group of folks that help us all the time, and that's been really beneficial. We also reached out to do some more relationship building with our staff. We all jumped in together last year as brand new PTO members, and they didn't really know us very well. So we worked hard to kind of build that up, and even more this year. And a couple of things we've done for them to make them feel a little more connected to us in the school is we have annual staff shirts that we're giving them every year. So at the beginning of every school year, they get a new design, something special to Edgewood that only they have. And right now, they're currently voting on the design for next year, so they're really excited. We also did get to participate in the pumpkin drop this year that we'd never got to do before. So that was something very exciting. So kind of to go along with new events and things happening, as well as some of the new fundraising we got to do. We partnered with the fire department. The kids had a blast decorating the pumpkins, voting on them, and then all of that money went to Blessings in a Backpack, and we raised $1,000. The other thing that was mentioned was our color run. So that is an event that we changed to from the previous sort of end of year standard at Edgewood was the extravaganza. We changed that to a color run. It's a little bit simpler for us to put on. It's easier for families to attend in a short amount of time, and it actually is a fundraiser for us now and one of our biggest. So 2 years down, and it's one of our favorites. And you'll see a lot of the colorful pictures up there from the color powder. It may not be there forever, but it's something that we are really proud of and really happy that we were able to kind of transition Edgewood to. And then the last thing that we got to do this year that I don't know if they've been done in the past, is we were able to give out student gifts at the end of the year as well. So a lot of our students do not have a lot of their own Monarch gear or spirit wear, and so we were able to send them all off for the summer with a new drawstring bag and Monarch sunglasses, so that they could start the summer off with, something to fill for a bike ride or something to go to the pool with, and celebrate being a Monarch at Edgewood. So, thank you.
Next up, we'd like to honor Mill Valley. This year's PTO president is Jocelyn Brawford.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Brawford. I'm PTO president at Mill Valley Elementary. And we started this year with an all-new board except for one person. So we had no idea what we were doing, but we all had the same goal to go in and support the schools, support the students, and support the staff. And it's been an honor to do that and to be able to connect with the community this way. Throughout the year, we've successfully organized and hosted a variety of events and programs and strengthened our school community and created a lasting memories for our students. Family nights, fundraisers, teacher appreciation, experiences for all the children. This year has been filled with hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment. None of this would be possible without the volunteers, staff, administrators, and parents who continually stepped up to help us make this difference, and we are so ready for another school year.
Next up, we would like to honor Lakita Chambers, PTO president at Naven Elementary. Okay, we also would like to honor Northwoods PTO president Christina Shockey.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Christina Shockey. I'm the president at Northwood Elementary, and I am bringing my secretary up here with me. So this is Sarah Brooks. So a little bit about Northwood. We basically started from scratch this year. All new board, all new events, and this is my ride or die here. I could not have done this without her. Over the summer, we spent endless hours researching, figuring out new events to make this year successful, and it exceeded all expectations we had. So I just couldn't do this without her. So she's up here with me. Our rest of the board's setting up for our fourth grade clap out right now, so they couldn't make it. But to focus on some events that we really enjoyed this year. So we did a Make a Mascot event at the beginning of the year where it's like a Build-A-Bear event where everyone got to make their own little mini monarch. There's a picture of kids stuffing, but you got to name it, dress it. We brought in the monarch mascot and we got to take pictures. So that was really successful and fun way to start the year. We also offered First Fridays for our staff. So we started with limited budgets this year. We had volunteer businesses. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll let her talk about it because she organized it, so team effort.
I might have stole the idea off of a PTO page from a state somewhere else, but had the idea of just spoiling our staff members on the first Friday of every month. And we've had local businesses and neighborhoods and families come together to essentially spoil our staff on the first Friday of every month. We've had McDonald's supply cookies. We've had a neighborhood go all out and do soda bar and breakfast treats, and we were able to do the whole school year, and the staff has loved it. So it's been great.
One other event we'll highlight, we did the Northwood Neon Run, our first event this year. So it was essentially a glow run in the gym. There was a track, we had a DJ, stations with glow games. We were able to get local businesses to sponsor over $5,000, and we're able to get t-shirts for all of our students and staff this year. So yes, so we're looking forward to next year.
Okay, next up, we'd like to celebrate Raymond Elementary and PTO President Laura Hutchins.
I'm making sure I got that right. Yeah, Vice President. They're such a cohesive team that I forget who's got what. And then co-treasurers Katie Shelley and Cecily Blankenship and Secretary Allie Ween. I can say as a first-year principal in the district, these 5 ladies are fabulous and do so much for our Raymond community and hold us together and have been more than welcoming to me and the other new staff in the building. First school event in 20 years that I've had a horse-drawn carriage during our Fall Fest, so that was quite entertaining to see, and my son was like in awe that there were horses. But just outstanding, fabulous events from Snacks with Santa, Family Bingo Night, the Glow Dance. They stock our staff room, like I think it's 4 or 5 times a year, and it's like locusts getting all of the food when the staff know that it's there. So but they make sure they reach out and get everybody's favorite things anytime we come to them. If we need help, if we would like to try something new, and being Raymond, we're small and we love it. We want to keep it that way, but that also means that some of the bigger events we see at other places are harder for us to do. But our team finds a way to make it happen, and I know I would be lost without these 5 lovely ladies. So thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, certainly, from Creekview, we have PTO President Carol Hansen.
Hello. I hope you don't mind. I wrote it all down because I'm not good at speaking in public, so I'm going to cry, I promise. Hello, I'm Carol Hansen, the recently retired PTO president at Creekview, because my youngest is going to Bunsold next year, and I can't believe that one. I know we're supposed to talk about what we did this year, but if you don't mind, I'd also like to talk about my experiences since this is my last year. I've been involved with PTO since my oldest kindergarten year at Edgewood in 2015. I still remember his open house, going up to the PTO table and saying, "Sign me up." And she was like, "What?" Nobody does that. But I knew I wanted to help at my kid's school. My first position there, believe it or not, was box tops coordinator. Remember when we used to have to clip them and cut them and mail them in? I also served as secretary and co-treasurer over the next 9 years there. At Creekview, I've been vice president and now president this last year. I did the math, and in 11 years, I've probably attended close to 100 PTO meetings. And that's not even counting all the planning meetings for all the events that we've done. In my experience, PTO changes a bit from elementary to Creekview. Less parent involvement, more student-led activities. We started the year with 3 planned events, but due to different circumstances, 2 of them had to be canceled. So the only thing PTO ended up hosting was STEM bingo, where the kids played bingo and won STEM-related prizes. Luckily, Creekview has a wonderful student council that ran several fun events throughout the year, so the kids did not miss out on the fun. However, PTO still made an impact. We ran 2 successful fundraisers, plus a dime to donate every month, including 2 McTeacher nights. The teachers love the McTeacher nights. They beg me, like, when are they, so they can get them on their calendar. These all helped fund classroom accounts, provided dinners during conferences, and helped spoil our teachers during Appreciation Week. Teacher Appreciation Week is my absolute favorite. I don't know if you've seen my pictures with the Star Wars theme, and then I named everything like Luke Skywalker, like silly things like that. But I had so much fun with it this year. We decorated the lounge, provided lunch, breakfast, a coffee truck, and I have to give a shout out to the Well Church and Sam's Coffee Bar for helping us with the coffee truck. But my favorite day of all was the snack cart, and you've probably seen the picture with the lion mascot. One of our PTO members, Megan, who's not here tonight, she dressed up as the lion. It was hot, and she did it for us 2 years in a row. I'll be honest, this last month has been tough for me. I planned my last Teacher Appreciation Week, volunteered at my last field day yesterday, and my very last PTO meeting happened to fall on my birthday this year. It was a bittersweet day, but I know Creekview's in good hands with the new team that was voted in. Thank you.
Another thank you to all of our PTO leadership, PTOs and our parents that help encourage and instill a strong culture in our buildings and solve a lot of problems that many of us here at the board level or in the community do not see on day to day. So just want to say thank you from this Board of Education to all of our PTO volunteers and the leaders who signed the dotted line to make things happen. Thank you. Next, we have our retiree recognition. Dr. Howard?
Yes, board. We have 18 individuals that are being recognized for their retirement this evening. Combined, they have served our district 448 years. If you do the math, that means they've touched the lives of thousands upon thousands of students. I think they've all been invited to come sub for us next year. And if you stick around, we'll get your assignments for the upcoming year before you leave. Our first day of school, retirees, for 26-27 is August 20th. But something tells me you've already made plans for that day. Dr. Jackson will read your names off, and you can come up to the front to receive your retirement gift. We'd love to take a picture with our collective group once everybody has been called. And if you're in the audience, please feel free to clap and cheer these folks on as they come forward. They deserve our admiration and deep appreciation.
All righty, we
have Molly Balch, Creekview School Counselor, 26 years here at Marysville. Terry Baseman, a cook here at Marysville High School. She's been here for 28 years. Rich Bernadella. He's been at Marysville Schools for 13 years. The next person is Kevin Brandfast. I don't think he's here. Kevin's been with the school district for 32 years. Dawn Burns, I don't think she's here. She's been with the school district for 36 years. Kimberly Koppler, teacher at Creekview, 31 years with Marysville Schools. Michael Covert, custodian at Bunsold, 10 years here at Marysville. Tammy Gould, Creekview teacher, 31 years. Dina Hodenchek, teacher at Edgewood, 20 years. Deborah, I'm gonna mispronounce your last name. Deborah, are you here? Bunsold Middle School. Okay, then I'm just gonna skip it. All right. She's been with us now for 32 years. Tim Canali, who's the principal there, has been with Marysville Schools 26 years. Janie Martindale, secretary at Early College, 27 years here with Marysville Schools. Beth Nickel, she's a school counselor, 10 years here at Marysville. Kim Porter, instructional coach. I do not believe that she's here either. Bill Romine, an IS at Northwood. I don't believe he's here either. Okay. Judy Rubadoo, teacher at Mill Valley, 34 years. Jeff Wargo, maintenance director, 29 years. And Joanne Weller, teacher at Creekview, 27 years. We're going to do one group picture. It's your last task for you.
Thank you, Dr. Howard, and congratulations to our retirees. Next, we have Ohio High Point Student of the Month recognition. Dr. Howard?
Yes, thank you, President Ferguson. Joining us from Ohio High Point this evening, we also have our liaison between our district and Ohio High Point. Dave Zamura is here, so we appreciate that, and we will receive a report from Ohio High Point later on in the meeting. But we have 4 fantastic students that are joining us this evening. Our first is Eugenia Mata Trujillo, who was a health careers student, and I say was because they just had their commencement ceremony last night. And while I was in attendance, she was named as the 2026 Ohio High Point Student of the Year. An incredible honor amongst hundreds of students, and I've learned that she has a full ride to The Ohio State University beginning this fall, and she is pre-med. Congratulations, and I speak for our entire board when I say we are incredibly proud of you and your peers with us this evening. We also have Melody Kadbatar, also in the health careers pathway, and she was the December student of the month. Okay. Honored as the March student of the month, also in the health careers pathway, Mary Adesanmi. And finally, we have Dana Salgada Mora, also in the health careers, and she was the May student of the month.
Thank you, Dr. Howard, and congratulations to our High Point students. It's a special recognition. Thank you. Next, we have public participation. I believe we have Miss Kaylee Cotter here to speak tonight. Ms. Cotter, if you'd like to approach the podium, you will have 3 minutes to address the board. And this is we listen, and it's not a back and forth interaction, but we'll listen to what you have to say and refer it to the right person, which will be probably Dr. Howard, most likely. So the time is yours.
Thank you. So I want to first thank our board members for having me. I'm Kaylee Cotter. I live at 835 Wedgwood Drive. And I want to start by asking our parents here for a show of hands. Who here has a student who's had something to say at home about mastery grading? I took the liberty of gathering some testimony from current students and former students of Marysville schools, and one student said, "I'm able to fail 3 tests in a quarter and still end off said quarter with an A." While I understand that the mastery system is intended to ensure that one failed test doesn't tank a grade, there is a certain point where the priority is not in education, but instead in passing grades. High schoolers need to be educated, not to be coddled into an A. The mastery system, in my personal experience, which is shared by many of my friends, causes us to not accept anything less than an A. I've learned through AP courses that an A does not define your abilities or how smart you are, but instead your effort to learn. And where we start to see a confusion of priorities between educational effort and getting the right grades, that doesn't go unnoticed by faculty either. A former high school teacher told me some students took advantage of unlimited retakes without doing the work to actually master the material. When I asked for proof of learning, students would fabricate what they had done. She said what was harder was the outside pressure. Parents would see that mastery had not been achieved and demand grade changes. Coaches messaged me directly, asking me to change grades so their players could compete. Another student told me, honestly, I think mastery punishes those who go above and beyond. While normal grade systems can be difficult, stronger performance is rewarded. Students who put in just enough effort shouldn't be rewarded with the same grade as those who put in stellar work. That extra edge goes a long way in college and in the workforce. And another student, to sum up, told me that while they support retakes for students who do their formative work, it often can discourage putting in your best effort the first time. And I investigated some district data, which actually shows that student growth recently has fallen shy of expectations. I have an infographic that I can leave for anyone who wants to review it, but I'd like to close by saying that while not all students who struggle are unmotivated, not all students with those high grades are getting the best quality education that they could be. So I think it's time that we start asking those questions of our students, having conversations with them, and trying to figure out if mastery grading is the most effective way to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cotter. Thank you, Ms. Cotter. We have your information, and we'll be in touch with you. Thank you. Next, I have a hearing for reemployment of retired employee Jeff Wargo. Dr. Howard?
Yes. Jeff serves as our maintenance director, and it's our recommendation to have the board consider rehire, and as part of the procedures that are required in that provision, there needs to be an informal hearing.
Do we have anyone to speak tonight?
Seeing none.
All right. Thank you. That concludes our public hearing. Now I recognize Dr. Howard for the superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you, Board. I want to first thank our local Dairy Queen for partnering with us to provide dilly bars to our staff for Staff Appreciation Week a few weeks ago. Also, thank you to the Walmart Marysville store for providing fruit trays to our staff, and for the Chick-fil-A for providing breakfast item coupons. Both of these were nice surprises, and all of this was greatly appreciated by our staff, and we're fortunate to serve in such a supportive community. I know that most are aware, but our Performing Arts program was nominated for 7 out of 9 possible marquee CAPA awards for their Anything Goes musical. Our students performed exceptionally well at the Ohio Theater, and I think the other 30 districts in attendance were in awe like the rest of us. Marysville's 2026 wins included Best Musical Production, which was Marysville High School's Anything Goes, Best Direction, Brianna Bizzaro, Outstanding Ensemble, Outstanding Dance Execution, and Outstanding Technical Execution, won by stage manager Johanna Olofsson. Following the CAPA Awards, we were provided the judges' notes in the favorite moments section of their scoring sheets, and the following was included. Overall production category. The dancing in this show was impeccable. At one point, I seriously did not believe I was at a high school production. The Anything Goes number at the end of Act 1 was literally jaw-dropping. Seeing all those students dancing in unison and bring the energy, the face, the engagement, the connection was just incredible. This was truly a wonderful evening of theater. As we walked out, I heard someone say, I would have easily paid $50 or more to see that show. And I, Judge, redacted, couldn't agree with them more. Under the Best Direction category, the world that you, Brianna Bizzaro, created on stage was completely unified, and all of the elements of the production came together well. I felt transported during this performance back to the golden age of American musicals. Under the dance execution category, it was some of the best dancing by a cast I have ever seen. And I've seen many, many high school productions. Congratulations. And under the technical execution category, it was refreshing to see a set 100% constructed by your program for the production. Huge congratulations to everyone who played a part in putting together such an amazing show. We have ultra-talented kids and staff working with them. Board, I'd also like to share with you that Treasurer Johnson and Ryan Walker and myself have shared facilities updates with every building staff. The driving force behind the facilities discussion is enrollment projections. Over the past 10 years, our district enrollment has increased by 444 students. The state has performed enrollment projections for our district, and we are projected to increase enrollment by 914 additional students over the next 10 years. We are continuing to gather data to solidify a plan with stakeholder input, and it is our goal to provide a community forum in the fall to seek input from the community. This will be communicated well in advance so we can get as many community members to be present as possible. And finally, with this being near the end of my first year in the district as superintendent, I want to thank the board for the opportunity to serve in this role. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to come home and serve the community that helped shape me. And I want to wish all of our families a wonderful, safe, and relaxing summer. We will be prepared to start a successful school year beginning in August. Our first day of school is August 20th. And finally, most importantly, congratulations to our class of 2026. We look forward to celebrating with you on Saturday during the commencement ceremony at Impact Stadium.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Next, we have our treasurer's report. Treasurer Johnson.
Sorry, my report's not as brief as that, but I will keep it somewhat quick. So I'm going to be updating the forecast that we just looked at in February. I have all of these legal slides, but I'm not going to go over them all again, so don't worry. I just wanted to keep those in there in case someone asks for a copy of the report. I think that is important information to keep in there. High-level summary, though, some of these House bills that have passed and have had a significant impact on the district. House Bill 186, that's the one that caps growth on districts that are on the 20 mil floor. So looking at our 5-year forecast and forecasted revenue, that was a significant cut as they created a inflation cap that decreased our projected revenue. It also created tax credits that we still don't know yet. I think in my last update, I said we're hoping to know around April. Well, now we're in middle of May or towards the end of May. We still don't know, and quite honestly, we probably won't know for the August forecast update either. So that's going to create a little bit of uncertainty with our future revenues there. House Bill 129, that one creates it to where emergency levies and fixed sum levies count against the 20 mil floor. That's another one that was harmful to our district because of the emergency levy that we just passed, and that one will take effect in 2028. So right now we're still technically on the 20 mil floor. With that next revaluation, that law will take effect for us, and we will no longer be on the 20 mil floor, further damaging revenues for the district. House Bill 335, it's basically the same as House Bill 186, but it applies to our inside millage, so also capping revenue growth on inside millage. And then House Bill 309, that gave additional powers to the County Budget Commission. I wouldn't say that's had any effect on us at this point, so that's kind of yet to be determined. So I will fast forward through all these wordy slides. Okay, so here's our high-level look at the 5-year forecast. As you can see, this is going to look pretty similar to the more recent forecast we looked at. The red line being expenditures is above the blue line being revenues. So we're spending more than we're taking in. That's what's known as an operating deficit. And when you're in an operating deficit, you're eating into your cash balance. So you can see the green line, our cash reserve is going down. And if you would have looked at this line prior to House Bill 186, House Bill 129, prior to taking over the preschool, that blue line would have been very close, still probably below, but it would have been very close to that red line, and we would have had a healthier cash balance throughout. I showed this slide before, but this is worth reminding because I think a lot of people in the community, when they see that green line going below zero and showing a deficit, well, we just passed the levy. How could we be facing a deficit this early in the forecast? So this timeline kind of explains the factors there. January of 2025 was when the board passed the resolution to go for the emergency levy. March of 25 was when we first heard that the school would be forced to take over the Harold Lewis preschool. That was adding about $3.5 million of expenditures to our budget, and essentially eating up about half of that levy before it had even passed. May 25, the levy was passed, and I will say, good thing that it was, because we'd be in much, even with some of the bad news in this forecast, we'd be in much worse shape if had it not passed. December 25 is when House Bill 186 was passed, and then into 2028 is when House Bill 129 will take effect. Again, this slide, the blue line there shows the revenues generated from the new levy from fiscal 27 to 30, so that's about, and those numbers are hard to read, a little over $27 million. There on the right, it shows the expenditures added from the preschool during that time, projected to be around $14 million, and then the impact of the two House bills, 186 and 129, that decreased our projected revenues by over $13 million. So in total, the impact of the preschool and those two House bills, essentially the drop in revenue plus increased costs is a little bit higher than what the additional revenue of the new levy is. Our ending cash balance policy, so one of the factors in the cash balance policy is expenditures not exceeding revenues by more than 1%. Unfortunately, we have that in every year of the forecast. And then the other factor is a cash balance of at least 1 month worth of expenditures. We do have that maintained through fiscal 28. Fiscal 29, we get slightly below that. I should say we're still slightly positive, but we're below that 1 month, and then we would be in a deficit in fiscal year 30. Looking at revenue sources, total revenue just under $74 million. I guess one revenue growth factor that the state hasn't hit us with yet or hasn't hampered us is the new construction. So that's one place where we can still see growth in revenue, and our new construction values did increase higher than anticipated. So that was good news. It was an additional $150,000 to fiscal year 26 in the forecast, and that will carry through the forecast. So that was a nice change. Looking at our state funding, we did get a bump this year, but it was a one-time bump. Every year the state does a true-up, and so this year it was an additional $500,000 based off of a true-up of last year's funding. But unfortunately, that doesn't roll through the forecast. We may get another true-up next year. Sometimes a true-up is negative, sometimes it's positive. So I will note with our state funding, if you look in the future years of the forecast, next year we're showing a drop of $2.5 million in state funding. And that's not my projection. That's actually from the Ohio Department of Education. They've created a simulator that districts can use to help simulate, project future revenues based on the state funding formula. So there's really two main factors why our state funding is going down. First of which is they're really not funding the formula as it's intended to be. So there's cost inputs in the formula. Basically, what does it cost to operate a district? So there's factors that they have in place that they use for the formula. They're still using cost factors from fiscal year 22. So they're funding us based on what it costs to operate a district back in 2022, and they haven't updated those numbers. At the same time, they're not updating those numbers. They are updating the wealth factors in the forecast. So our most recent reappraisal, where our property values went up by over 26%, that is being added into the formula. So that makes us, as a district, look wealthier compared to other districts in the state. So there's a factor in the forecast, in the formula known as local capacity. It's basically how much should you be able to pay locally towards the education of a student compared to what the state will pay. As you look wealthier because property values go up, your local index, your local factor will go up, local capacity, so that will decrease the amount that we will get. So we're currently projected to be on the guarantee next year. When you're on the guarantee, that means you're getting more money than what the formula calculates you should, which sounds like a good thing, but unfortunately it's not. And the reason it's not is because the reason that we're getting more than the formula calculates is because the formula calculation is going down significantly next year because of the two factors I just talked about. And then also one of the negative things of being on the guarantee, if we get, for example, right now we're assuming 50 new students next year. If we get those 50 new students, our state funding would not increase at all because we're on the guarantee. And based on my calculations, it would probably take around 350 to 400 new students to actually see an increase in state funding. So this formula is in place for sure for next year. Then there will be a new state biennium budget after that. So it would appear they've basically abandoned that current formula, not because there was really anything wrong with the formula, they're just not funding it as it needs to be. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what they do with the next formula if they change it. The forecast just assumes basically we're on the guarantee throughout though. It's just worth mentioning tangible personal property taxes, just because this was one of the most significant impacted legislative impacts that the district has seen. We, at one point in fiscal year 20, I can't see the numbers, but basically around fiscal year 12, 13, we were getting $9 million a year from tangible personal property taxes. In an effort to make Ohio more business friendly, they reduced that, so that was basically reducing the tax burden on businesses, which then ended up hurting revenue for school districts. This is somewhat akin to, you can look, some of the legislation we're seeing now, we've talked in the past about House Bill 920, which also hurt districts' ability to see revenue increases. And I actually just learned this recently. House Bill 920 in part was created as the state was implementing a new income tax. So the idea was, well, we're going to have this income tax revenue that we can fund schools with. We're going to go ahead and put some caps over here on the property taxes so the property taxes won't go up too much. Well, after doing that, now over the last decade, we've reduced income tax rates to the point that we're one of the lowest income tax percentages in America, which is great, except now when you turn around and start passing property tax reform legislation that's now also going to negatively impact our ability to generate real estate taxes as well. So there's multiple legislation pieces over the years that have hampered our ability to raise revenues. We talk a lot about we have a revenue problem, not an expenditure problem, and I think this slide points to that a little bit. If you look back to fiscal year 21 compared to this year, which is fiscal year 26, we've grown by 566 students. That's the equivalent of an elementary building or maybe even a large elementary building. If you take that, the projections out to fiscal year 30, so from fiscal 21 to 30, we're projected to grow by 1,000 students, roughly 1,000 students. At that same time, from fiscal year 21 to this current year, we've only grown by 32 staff members. If you look at this year alone, we actually grew by 33 due to taking on the preschool. So if you think about that, it doesn't really add up. Well, that's because from fiscal 21 to fiscal 26, our staffing numbers have actually decreased except for adding the preschool. So we've been very efficient. So that's, as we say, there's a revenue problem. We're doing a pretty good job on being efficient and keeping expenditures low. So enrollment growth is outpacing staffing growth due to a lack of revenue. On the last slide, looking ahead, some of the highlights. New construction values benefit to the district, but this House Bill 186 tax credits, that's still an uncertainty. It's uncertainty for all the districts across the state, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I mentioned we're on the guarantee for fiscal year 27 and likely stuck there for quite a while in lieu of some state changes to the formula or pumping additional funding into the formula. I think next year they're projected to be around 400 districts out of 610 that are going to be on the guarantee, which is, again, one way of saying is that that's a formula that's not working, but again, the formula is perfectly fine. It's just the formula that's not being funded. We talked about House Bill 186 and 129. That's reducing future revenues in the forecast by over $13 million. Projected cash deficit in fiscal year 30 due to those new House bills, as well as the added costs of the preschool. And even with the relatively low staff levels, based on our current projections, we would be facing the need for an additional operating levy to generate funds to avoid that cash deficit. Any questions?
Open the floor for board members to give questions. And just another context, the financial forecast is presented twice per year, but we are bringing kind of an update now because of the recent changes with property tax reform is increasing uncertainty. And so the next presentation will be in August, is that correct?
Yeah, yep. And to me, there's a lot of treasurers are upset with the timing of the new law changes, and it's true, but at the same time, I can do a forecast whenever, but we have to, when you look at the legal timing of when we have to do a forecast, so I've got to do another one in August. Well, we're still probably not going to know those tax credits, and we're also not going to have our second half real estate settlement probably until October at best. So that August forecast is still also going to have, we'll have some things that we know more, but one of our biggest pieces is still going to have a lot of uncertainty around it.
Any other questions?
I was going to ask, you mentioned that the formula is correct, it's just not being funded. Is that for the fact that one of your factors is pre-inflationary trends, fiscal year 2022? Is that what you're referencing when you say it's not being funded?
Yeah, so the formula takes into one of the main things with this formula, why they called it the Fair School Funding Act, is they said, we're going to say, here's what it costs to run a district. This is how much it costs to have a principal. This is how much it costs to, do all the different factors that would go into the formula. Those factors are supposed to be updated, and they did update them at one point, but just bumped them up about 2 years. So the numbers that those are still used are still based on 2022 cost, which if you look at your own credit card statement, the numbers are going up significantly. So to assume that we're still able to operate based on what it costs to run a district in 2022 just makes no sense.
Ms. Mabry?
This isn't really directed at you, Todd, but I spent all day Tuesday down at the State House for Legislative Day, and I met with 9 different legislators, both in the Senate and the House, both sides of the aisle. And, part of my discussion with them was on school funding. And time again, just the rhetoric that they continue to spew in their feckless, meaningless, job that they have down there, not getting anything done. It's always about, well, we have to work together, and I just can't urge enough that our citizenry has to reach out to our legislators and demand that they start putting together legislation that makes sense, because these types of bills is busy work, in my opinion. They look busy, so that they could pat themselves on the back, but it doesn't do anybody any good. It certainly doesn't do the schools any good. It's hurtful. The property tax, reform needs to happen immediately to actually help people. And they literally, I got chastised by my husband for getting very impassioned, as I do. But the fact is that they are not doing anything that helps the average person. They're just looking busy. And, when we had the meeting here last month with the Ohio School Board Association, and they were saying how there's 300 bills impacting school funding sitting out there. And I'm like, what is the point? Sit in a room, get together, put something together that will actually help schools instead of putting busy work together. And, so we have to come together as a community and start hammering our legislators to do something meaningful, or tell them they're going to go. And at this point, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. They're all worthless at this point because nobody's doing anything that is helpful. So we're going to keep hearing this same story over and over with your budget because they keep screwing things up. And so call your legislators, write them, email them, and make them so sick of hearing you that they finally do something and they start to reach across the aisle and stop looking at whether there's a D or an R next to their name in supporting bills, and write bills that make sense.
I agree. We need people to get on the phone and send emails and send letters and be kind of annoying. I know that people across the state are, and so we want to make sure we're doing the same thing to make sure that they understand the importance of funding our schools, because I know it looks great that we have the staffing that we do compared to students, but I don't think anybody loves our class sizes. So, I'm glad we're maintaining where we are, but I'd really love to see us not have 26 to 33 kids in a classroom. That's not really great for our students and for our teachers as well. And I was feeling pretty emotional, and per the usual, your report is a Debbie Downer. So thank you for that, Todd.
You're welcome. At least I didn't play any sad music while I was presenting.
One last question. So this 5-year forecast, while there is a lot of uncertainty, in fiscal year 2030, our ending cash balance is in the negative of $8 million. As a board, what should we be watching? What should we be starting to think about? I know that's far, and there's some uncertainty. We kind of have to see what August looks like. But we do also have a responsibility here at the local level. What should we start asking or thinking about?
The most obvious, just high-level question is, do we want to cut expenditures, or do we want to bring in more revenue? That's your base level question. And again, you can even have a difference of opinion there, but that's the base level question. And I think Dr. Howard and I, that's going to be our job to bring to you some strategies that would relate to that. So we're going to be having some upcoming meetings, some special meetings. We're a little more informal, so that we can have those discussions.
Thank you. Any other last questions? Matt, you haven't said anything? I'm just kidding. All right.
I'm going to talk briefly about maybe something good in my legislative report.
We'll look forward to it. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer Johnson. Now we're moving on to the board president report. I was kind of segue. OSBA, we had a town hall here. It was a well-attended event. I want to thank the Marysville Journal-Tribune and Marysville Matters for covering that as well, kind of expanding that conversation outside of these walls. But we had board members, community members from the entire kind of Central Ohio region here to talk about the state of public education. And you just saw our financial forecast update. And if this is any solace, there are districts represented in the conversation of different sizes, from Olentangy to Jonathan Alder to Marion City. and they're all experiencing the same exact issue. And one positive thing is that where they had a lot of positive feedback was in career technical education. Every district had tons of positive impact in career technical education, and one reason that I put on the table is because the state of Ohio is actually funding career technical education. They're funding it more than they've ever funded before and are trying to meet the needs of students in those areas. And so there's a correlation between the partnership on the state level, how do we manage resources and the operations here at the local level, but obviously that partnership, if it's invested in, you'll see better outcomes for students, and that's what matters. So I think that was my personal takeaway. Does anyone else have any comments about the OSBA Town Hall? I'll open it up for a little bit.
I was really excited that we were the first stop on their, it sounds like, tour kind of around Ohio. It was nice to hear. It's not great news for everybody, but it was nice to hear that other schools are facing similar challenges, and that we've got a lot of information coming through OSBA, our direction, to help kind of keep people informed. Probably give them a like on Facebook, because they do put out little videos and things that help explain a lot of the different House bills and things that are happening right now. And it was great to hear from all those people.
Thank you. Next, we had our monthly community coffee this past Sunday. Ms. Shepard and I attended. We did meet with a member of our community about kind of ed tech, the use of technology in our school district, and so something that we're hearing and kind of keeping a pulse of. Just want to remind members, the Sunday before our regular meeting, we always have a community coffee, a community engagement here with 2 board members. So that's a perfect time to come ask questions. It's informal. We listen to you. We don't have anything planned on those coffees for us to talk to you about. We are here to listen and engage in that conversation and see how we can work with our superintendent and treasurer to provide favorable results or answer your questions. Lastly, we just concluded our spring art exhibits. I got to go to, I think actually, maybe all of them. I might have missed one. They're at the Houston House. I think our Marysville Art League helped sponsor. That's our community partner to host these art shows. We just want to thank the Marysville Art League for being a host. We also had the National Honor Society induction, which I believe some of our board members, their students, were also a part of in that. And so thank you for being great families and parents for your students to be a part of that. But it was also a wonderful ceremony. Prom went off without any just tons of fun, I hear, and so that was great. And then kind of our performing arts, our bands had community concerts. Hopefully someone attended here. I was not able to due to my personal schedule. And sadly, very sadly, tomorrow's our last day for students. And so I know some are probably more excited than others, but it is kind of the end of our chapter as we come on Saturday at 7 p.m. at Impact Stadium to celebrate our class of 2026. Dr. Howard, how many graduates do we have this year? I did not see that number.
I had that number written down. It is 426 graduates.
So congratulations to the 426 graduates this weekend. Lastly, I always end with my report with our vision statement. Our vision statement is each child at Marysville Schools will be challenged, prepared, and empowered through innovation, collaboration, and inspiration. Innovation to ignite their curiosity, collaboration to strengthen their capacity, inspiration to empower their confidence, and fortitude toward the future. And I hope this meeting and our collective efforts continue to make this vision a reality for every student. Thank you. Next, I'll recognize Board Member Shepard for the Student Achievement Report.
Thank you. You might be bummed that school is over, but I'm pretty excited to not pack lunches for whatever it is, 10, 12 weeks. So I'll be looking forward to that on Monday. So I have a lot of student achievement to share. Last month, I asked our high school principals if they would be willing to reach out to their staff members to help me figure out how many volunteer hours that our high school students are spending out in our community and surrounding communities. So I'm going to give you a really big total. It's not an exhaustive list. I'm hoping as the years go on, we can get better about that. And some of the kids are able to like double dip their hours a little bit. So that being said, we have National Honor Society from ECHS and the Japanese Honor Society at ECHS. We have duplicates of those at the high school. Leo Club, Monarch Market, National Business Honor Society, FFA, Spanish Honor Society, Rho Kappa, which is our history honor society, women's wrestling, men's football. Well, we only have men's football. Football and men's wrestling were over 10,000 hours that our students are volunteering in the community. The number was 11,473.5, but if we kind of count out some of the double dips, we're at least over 10,000 volunteer hours. So huge thank you to all of our students and the staff that support them in building that character by going out in the community and giving something outside of themselves. We're definitely benefiting from that. Some other exciting highlights. Mr. Bennett, who's the principal at ECHS, said they have, their ECHS students have been offered over $3.5 million in scholarships, and 1.3 million have already been officially accepted. That's a big number. We have 110 students graduating from preschool, moving on to kindergarten, and 9 kids moving to Alt-K, so that's pretty exciting for them. All those parents, they're crying now, just wait till their kids are seniors. NAVN celebrated their volunteers this month, which, as we saw from our PTO speakers today, we couldn't do anything without our volunteers, and so they've had volunteers coming in to support students in their math and reading fluency, which is fantastic because our teachers aren't able to spend as much time as they would like, and having those volunteers helps us do that. Mill Valley had a career day. How fun for little kids to start getting an idea of what's out there. And Bunsold held their all A's luncheon for the 8th graders. They had to have all A's through 7th grade and the first 3 quarters of 8th grade. So around 21 students got to go to Leon's for lunch this week. We have 7 athletes who qualified for regionals through track and field. Did we win the softball game? We didn't. Oh, we were so far ahead. Well, still, it was a hard-fought game then, I'm sure. We had 2 different signing days, 15 athletes, I believe, and 3 dance team members. And recently, our symphonic choir got all 1s at the state competition, and a couple of the comments from those judges were, one of them, choir, are there truly words, stunning, magnificent, well taught and delivered. I was so blessed to have heard you. Singers who know how to use the voice properly and present such literature so masterfully are rare. So we've got some pretty incredible students, not just athletes or academically, but also the performing and visual arts. I also went to the art showcase at the Houston House, and every time I go, I'm blown away by how talented those kids are. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shepard. Mr. Keller, legislative report.
I'm going to keep it fairly brief. There's a new coalition that's launched that OSBA is telling us about, Protect Public Services. They have a website, .org. Basically, they're trying to educate the general public on the loss of property taxes and how that affects the different public services. Like on their webpage, it shows schools, and you can click on it, and it shows it's going to mean higher class sizes for students. Then it talks about Parks and Rec. You can click on it. So it seems good that someone's trying to educate about that. Just to remind everyone, or inform you if you don't know, there's some traction trying to gain for November 2026 election to cut property tax altogether. What is needed is 44 of the 88 counties need to be represented by 413 validated signatures. Jermaine and I heard in late March, 413,000, sorry. But Jermaine and I heard from the legislators in late March that they thought it wasn't going to get there, but we'll see. And so I thought it was good to know that there's an organization out there trying to educate about the loss of property taxes. Lots of House bills gaining traction. To me, they all seem good for kids and/or schools. I mean, radon testing in schools, if they're not doing it already. Epinephrines, I believe that's the name of it. Nasal ones for students. That's a possibility moving forward. And then President Trump released his fiscal year 27 federal executive budget request. And so we'll learn how that affects Ohio. But one piece in his budget request and repeats his proposal consolidated several special education grants, including individuals with disabilities education, preschool grants, and national activities program into one main IDEA grant for the states. And so I guess we'll see what that looks like. One piece, I guess, is more of a question on, probably for you, Todd. There was a rural health dollars approved, $404 million at the state level. And that seemed like a lot. I think part of Marysville seems rural to me, but it may not be in looking at the grand scheme of things in all of Ohio. It sounds like they're trying to increase health services and centers, and then maybe some transportation support as well. And so I don't know if you know anything about that, but I kind of wanted to learn more, and I haven't had the chance to dive into that yet and see what that looked like. But maybe that's a positive for our funding.
I'm not aware. I will look into that. I know that we're not considered a rural district based on the state standards, but if that's a federal grant, then maybe we would be able to tap into something.
It was awarded through House Bill 1, and I don't know what that is yet. That's something I need to look at. That's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. Now we're going to recognize Mr. Dave DeZimra from he serves as our Ohio High Point representative. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm fairly new with that, and it's my first boardship, so appreciate your patience, and I will get more used to it as we go on. And I just threw some things together here just to catch you up a little bit. It may not be in kind of the order that it should be, but last year, and certainly their budget is nowhere near your guys' budget. With 700 students, but they were a little cash heavy. Now, Todd, you probably know about this. I was the treasurer there, Caleb. He went through it, where if you have too much money in your general fund, you can lose state funding money. State money. Okay, all right. So what they did is they moved $5 million, $7 million into their PI fund, and currently under construction is a new public safety building. It's gorgeous. I wish I had something to show you on it. But EMT, fire, and criminal justice will be in there, and that does free up some space from other parts where they were. That cost is about $5 million. It's going to have locker facilities, showers, large bays for vehicles for the students. They're expanding parking lot. They're currently in a building or a planning and design stage for heavy equipment storage building, and it's is it called a lean-to? It's basically, it's a covered structure, but it's open in the front. So in February, they had a 53-foot mobile welding trailer delivered. That was planned before my tenure started there, but there is some amazing pictures on their website. You should check it out. And just like I put there, it is pretty sweet. And I know nothing about welding. But I was really impressed that one of the 4 bays was handicapped accessible, wheelchair. Now, they don't have only one focus, but currently they are focusing quite heavily on main campus enrollment and satellite campus programs. And just a couple more FYIs, it's open to juniors, incoming juniors and seniors, so it's Freshmen and sophomores are not at High Point. And the 26-27 enrollment is expected to exceed 700 students again. I think they were over that this year. They have 18 main campus two-year programs, 13 one-year programs, and over 50 satellite programs with partner schools within the district, and that would be 14 districts. One thing I didn't put on here, but they have a work-based learning program. It's about 3 years old, and this past year they had 47 seniors where they work for a week, they're in school for a week, and they're earning money. And it's working very well. We did hear from a few of them at one point. I don't have any more details than that, but it's going well. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you. Board members, do you have questions?
No questions, but my business participated in that work-based program last year, and where we had students work 1 week on, 1 week off, and we had 2 students, and they alternated, and it worked great. And
Yes.
so then at the end of the year, we hired one full-time.
Nice.
So, and he's still with us, and he's doing fantastic.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Dr. Howard?
Mr. Zamora, I just wanted to thank you, not only serving in this role that you are, but I know you're very instrumental in assisting the FFA program as well, and you have for many years. So I just wanted to acknowledge you for that and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
No problem. With the 700 students, again, coming into the program, is there thoughts on expansion of their actual main campus or expansion of the program as these programs become more desirable and also funded from a federal and state level?
Yeah, that's kind of on their minds. It's just where would if you've been up there and you see the campus, and, you know, construction costs are huge, but it's on their minds, but I don't have a whole lot more information besides that.
I think the public safety services is freeing up space in the main building, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit. And the Health Academy and welding, those 2 programs are perennially the ones that have to turn away students more than the others. So, hopefully they...
I mean, what we hear from more and more, both professional organizations, tradesmen, that those areas, whether they be healthcare, welding, construction, we have a shortage of qualified individuals entering the workforce. There's a higher and higher demand for those trained individuals. We would expect, as we start to grow, a greater percentage may be starting to look at alternatives that aren't necessarily 4-year, 2-year college programs. So I think that's something as we look at how do we partner, but also how do we expand. As we look at the Marysville application, is there ways that we can get more of those partnered programs within our school systems as well? So just something that I think we're going to have to look at as we look at the alternate paths for the various folks in our community.
Well, thank you so much for attending tonight and bringing some of our students of the month and the student of the year. That's good. You're doing a really good job on your term here, so producing a lot of good results. So thank you for that. Yes.
And when I signed or agreed to be the appointee for Mr. Keck, they said that the updates could be quarterly, but I feel like that's just a little too vague, and so free to be here once a month for you. Sometimes there's just not a whole lot going on, and so maybe there wouldn't be a need for it, but so we could maybe look at that going forward. And then show me what I need to do to bring you the pictures to go onto the video board there, and you know, it's a little bit better when you can see something as you're talking about it, so.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to help you with that too, if you just want to communicate or share any of those.
Yeah, I just don't know what you need. Yeah. So, okay.
Well, thank you so much. We'll keep this conversation going.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes our reports for tonight. Now I have a recommendation to approve the draft minutes of April 16th regular meeting and April 16th special meeting, as submitted by Todd Johnson, our treasurer.
Motion.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, the minutes are adopted. Thank you. Next, I have a recommendation to approve the school year 2027-2028 school calendar. Dr. Howard?
Yes, Board, this, as you know, is a second reading. Thank you for your feedback after last month's meeting. We were able to take this back to the team, get consensus to move a fall teacher conferences date scheduled for Friday the 15th to the following Tuesday. So it creates another full week of school. I thought that was good feedback received, and so happy to share this calendar with you this evening. We think it's further honed and will serve the district well for 27-28.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Any questions or comments by board members? Hearing none, let's end the discussion. Roll call, please. I'm so sorry. I thought we did that.
Motion.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved in second. Then we have discussion, all right? Plug that discussion here. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, the calendar is adopted. Thank you. Now we have our first read policies. There's no action needed. I'll turn it over to Dr. Howard for explanation.
Yeah, thank you, Board. Attached to the agenda, there are 5 policies. They are recommendations from OSBA's legal team. One of them on there is the artificial intelligence policy that's required to be in place by August 1st. And we are utilizing the recommended policy from OSBA for that. That does reflect changes in the law, but these are all policies recommended from OSBA, but also we do have the non-discrimination policy on there. That was a change that was recommended from legal, and it also includes later on a modification to the 504 handbook. So just merge it, making sure that those are married together and it's uniform across the policy and the handbook.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. I'll open the floor up to the board members who serve on the Policy Administrative Committee. Are there any comments to be added? Questions?
I have no comments.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, that concludes our first read of the policies. Thank you. Next, I have a recommendation to approve all treasurer CFO action items.
All motion.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Discussion, Treasurer Johnson.
The only thing I would highlight on there, several grants you'll notice in the appropriations, so we're increasing the budget so those grants can be spent, but I would thank Chris Campbell, our head of curriculum, and Kara Jackson, assistant superintendent. They were the kind of the main drivers in getting those awards.
Thank you. Are there any questions by board members? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, the action items are approved. Next, I have a recommendation to approve all superintendent action items.
All motion.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Discussion, Dr. Howard.
Yeah, thank you, Board. We have our pretty much regular standing items. Of course, the HR items are attached here. I will call your attention to one in particular. We are making the recommendation to hire Chad Rice as our new Mill Valley principal, and he happens to be seated here this evening, so we're grateful for him to be here, and we hope you approve this so we can give him a nice warm welcome. Further into this, I'm also asking you guys to approve our graduate list. 426 individuals are listed there, so we all hope you'll approve that. We also have individuals listed for impracticality of transportation. There are 9 student, teacher, or intern placements for the next school year listed, so we're always grateful for those. And then we have approval of handbooks, provided there is approval of student school fees, and we're asking approval of 3 overnight trips listed as well.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Board members, are there any questions or comments?
There were a lot of things on your list this time, Dr. Howard, so they all look good to me.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, the action items are approved. Dr. Howard, is Mr. Rice, would you like Mr. Rice to say a few words?
Well, sure. He's pretty quick on his feet. Certainly with the interview process. Yeah, if you don't mind. We had many apply. We had several rounds. We also included input from stakeholders in the building, and it was pretty unanimous who everybody's selection was, and so happy to welcome here this evening, and we know he'll do a great job for us. Mr. Rice, it's all yours.
Thank you so much for putting me on the spot. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'd love the opportunity to work with Dr. Howard again and Dr. Jackson. I've had the opportunity to work with him before, and I'm very excited to work with him again, and I'm very excited to be a part of the district. I had the opportunity to go to Mill Valley about a week or so ago to meet the kiddos, and super exciting. They got a lot of great things going, so I'm thankful to be a part of the school district, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Now we move to our comments and questions from board members. We'll start with Ms. Shepherd.
Yes, thank you. So I did prepare comments and wrote them down because, like I said, I'm emotional. I have a graduating senior. So if things get dicey, I've already instructed Aaron to turn the camera off my face. Okay. And so kind of just with that theme of community tonight, I'm really grateful to be part of our community that has support for students and for all the grown-ups in our community as well. I know every time, we just keep getting posts about anything goes, and every time I think, wow, so many of us are still just full of pride for how well that show did. In Marysville, we have 3 dance studios, a music school, the Avalon, Summer Theater, and Encore feeding our school productions that are led by devoted professionals, and this production was a culmination of all that hard work and dedication across our community. Proud isn't a strong enough word. School is more than just math and reading. Just like our performing arts community, inside and outside of school, helped lead them to earn these incredible awards, we as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, employers of teenagers, thanks to them, coaches and community leaders share the responsibility to educate our students. The saying, "It takes a village," could not be truer. This weekend, we send a group of our students out into their next adventure. Just give me 1 second. I got to witness firsthand many of these seniors fight for what mattered to them last year. I practiced this like 100 times so that I wouldn't cry. It's not working. I've been watching many of them for the last 13 years because my daughter's graduating Saturday. To the staff and students and families that got them here, congratulations, and I'll see you Saturday, probably soaking wet. Dr. Howard, we might be, you don't know. I'll bring a poncho just in case. Dr. Howard, congratulations on your first year back as a Monarch, and Dr. Jackson, congratulations on your first year as a Monarch. To the rest of you up here, I'm looking forward to the next few months. Sounds like we've got some exciting things on our plate. And to Aaron and Tanya, we made it through half of a school year. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. Mr. Keller?
I definitely can't say things as good as Leanne. Super excited for the kids graduating and really just all the students, progressing through their education and moving up to the next level. And staff, thanks for the efforts with our kids. And I hope everybody, all of our staff, enjoys some time away this summer.
Ms. Mabry?
You even got me teary-eyed, Lillian, so, but yeah, I just want to, send a message out to the graduating students that, I remember what it was like, thinking, oh, I'm so glad that it's over. I'm ready to, be an adult and live, get my life started. But these were the best days of your life. And, never forget that. Don't try to grow up so fast, because it gets a lot harder from here. So just cherish these moments and, don't let it get away from you, because I think it's just really important. I know my high school days were my glory days, and I hope that you can look back and recall them as fondly as I did from my high school days. I'm super excited to be part of my first Marysville High School graduation this Saturday. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and so I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to continue with this board. I think these next 3.5 years we're going to do a lot of amazing things, and I will echo what you said about Dr. Howard. I think you were a blessing. You were led here, and the trajectory of this district has been changed for the better, and I'm very excited to see the future. And I hope that it is a sign that our district and our community will be brought back together. I think we desperately need direction, and I think you're the one to lead us there. And I hope everyone will kind of join together with us. We still have challenging times ahead, but if we come together as a community, we will be unstoppable. So let's go.
Ms. McIntosh?
So I will also be participating in the first Monarch graduation ceremony this Saturday, which I am incredibly excited about. I have to say thank you to my other board members coming in a little hot, I think, into this cycle. It's been a great education, but I'm really excited to roll up the sleeves and let's get deeper into a lot of these issues that we're going to face. One thing that I have taken away by joining, I will say, the Marysville community, because I've been here for now almost 6 years, but getting closer to both the students, the schools, the athletic programs, the arts programs, I am floored by the amount of talent that is in this community, whether it be the students, the professionals, our staff. I had the opportunity to go to Breakfast Buddies at Raymond last week, and I had some time to spend with their chef, because they do not have kitchen staff there. It is a chef. We need to get them all chef coats. It would be worth it. But just the passion and the creativity and the commitment to the professionalism that I have seen throughout this community is amazing, and it is something that we need to continue to develop and continue to cherish. Leanne, I will carry tissues for you this weekend. But to those students that are going on, you've had a great foundation set for you here. You have a very special community. You will go out and you will change and you will evolve and you'll look back and say that was great, or maybe it wasn't, but know that you always have a home here. And I think that home you can take with you and make you very, very strong as you're heading out into whatever that new future holds for you. So we're excited for you. Congratulations, 426. It's going to be a long list, but it'll be great. So thank you. Good luck. And board, we've got a lot of work to do this summer.
Thank you. I would just conclude. It was very nice to see our PTO leadership here tonight. I think they're really superheroes in disguise. Every parent who volunteers is a hero as well. And if you look at our list of volunteers, I kind of want to know the number that we have each year, but I mean, we approve volunteers at every meeting, and you can see it's 2 pages, 2.5 pages. And if that's the number each month, then you only have to be approved once per year, once per school year. So I just want to thank all of our volunteers as well. Field days, I was a little nervous about the PTO because there's so many activities happening this week, and I didn't think about that. And they still made the time to come here and share their story. And so I think that's great. We cannot do it without our volunteer, our parent leadership as well. While we are celebrating the end of our school year and our graduating class of 2026, we will make and continue to make decisions on behalf of the incoming kindergarten class and their experience and what Marysville looks like to them and their parents as they enter our school district and progress. And so I think this is a week of celebration, a month of celebration, but we also have some work to do to make sure that this incoming class of kindergartners has a great experience or even better. So that concludes my remarks. Is there a recommendation to adjourn, or do you guys want to stay and talk some more?
I'll motion to adjourn.
We have a motion.
Second?
It's been properly moved in second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Shepherd?
Yes.
Ms. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Ms. Mabry?
Yes.
Yes, at 7:41 p.m., the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.